Hi guys, welcome back to LM Crochet. Today I am going to teach you how to make this gorgeous blushing pear. When you've got 12 stitches it will look like this, and we're going to move straight on to the next round without sort of joining on or anything like that. We're just going to go straight back in, and this is what's called working in the round, which is why the magic ring is so useful for this. So straight into the next stitch, we're going to do an increase again in the next stitch, so that's 1 and 2 stitches into the same stitch, and then you're going to do 1 stitch alone in the following stitch. I should be saying 1 single crochet in the next single crochet, and then you're going to do an increase again and then a single on its own, increase again, single on its own, all the way around until you have 18 stitch single crochet. Now I have 18, this next round we need to get ourselves up to 24, and that just means increasing in the first stitch and 2 single crochets separately, so 1 and 2 in the following 2 single crochets. So I'll show you that once more. So an increase in the next and 1 single crochet in the next and 1 single crochet in the next, all the way around until you have 24 stitches. And that's 24. Now we need to increase to 30 in this round. So you might have got the gist of it by now. Each time we're adding 1 extra single crochet. So this time we have increase in the first stitch, then we have 1 single crochet, another single crochet on its own, another single crochet on its own, and that is sort of a set of 5, a group of 5, and you want to do that little group of 5 6 times all the way around. Otherwise just keep repeating the pattern, which was increase followed by 3 individual single crochets. Okay, that's 30. Next round we need to get ourselves up to 36. So similar idea, we're going to do an increase, 1 and 2, and then you're going to do 4 single crochets individually in the next 4 stitches, 4 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an increase in the following, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so do that all the way around till you have 36. And now we have 36. The next round we need to get ourselves up to 42. I'm just going to show you, in case you're crocheting, you're a person who likes to crochet in the evening or you like to use dark yarns, that this yarn story hook, you can actually turn it on, as I showed you in the beginning. So I'm going to do that now so I can see very, very clearly which stitch I'm going into, and this is really good for beginners as well when you struggle to see the stitches. Okay, so increase in the first, and a single crochet in each of the following 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so increase followed by 5 individual stitches, single crochet, until you get to 42 single crochet. There is 42. Next round we're going up to 48. So 1, 2 single crochet in the first stitch, followed by 6 individual single crochet. Alright, so just do that all the way around until you have a stitch count of 48. And that's what 48 looks like. Now you may be pleased to hear, unless you really like increasing, this is the final increase round that we're going to do, and we're going to get ourselves up to 54 single crochet by single crochet increase into that first stitch. When I say stitch, I mean to say single crochet. That's what patterns will say, so sorry about that. It's just, for some reason, I keep going back to that. Okay, and then you need, what was it? 7 individual single crochets on their own. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then you're going to repeat that 5 times more, so 6 in total, until you have 54 single crochet. So when you've got 54 stitches all the way round, it will look like this, and you will get a really good idea of the size of the pear, how it's going to be, the base, big it's going to be in the end. All you need to do now, which is a really simple, and I recommend putting on Netflix while you're doing this next bit, is 8 rounds of single crochet in every single crochet round. So the way that I like to do that is I give myself a stitch marker, and I don't have any fancy stitch markers, I just use the tail, so I'll show you how I do it now. So single crochet in the first 2 stitches, no increases this time, remember, and then I just pull it up a bit so I don't lose it, and I put my hook back into the first single crochet like that, and I grab the tail here that I made from the ring, the magic ring at the beginning, and I just pull that through, and now I know when I've done, if I keep counting rounds, then I know when I've done 8, I just count 8 rounds. So if you're not sure how to count a round, it's very clear on Amigurumi, because you can see that's 1 round, 2 round, 3 round, 4 round, 5 round. Do you see how there's clear sections? So that'll be clearer for you when you're going up and doing your single crochets around. Alternatively, you can count rounds, so every time you count to 54 you could put a little strike on a tally, or you could use a stitch marker in the way that you prefer. It's up to you really, but just make sure that next you have done 8 rounds of single crochet in each single crochet round, and then come back to see what to do next. So once you've done your 8 rounds, it should look like this, like a bowl. And what you can do, as I alluded to earlier, you can count the rounds. You can see this is where I put the stitch marker in. You can count 1, put it a bit closer to the camera, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the final one is 8. If that's too confusing for you at the stage you're at, then don't worry about it too much. As long as you've done 8 rounds, you'll be fine. So what happens next is we begin decreasing. So a decrease stitch is again something else I have a beginner tutorial for on my my main page on YouTube. So if you need extra support with that, please go and check it out. If you just need a refresher, then I can offer that now. You simply go into the next stitch as if you're going to do a single crochet, and you pull through the yarn as normal, so you have the 2 loops there. Whereas normally you would yarn over and pull through, what you're going to do instead is you're going to put your hook through the next stitch, single crochet, pull through as if you're going to do a single crochet again there, and so you have 3 loops on your hook, and then you yarn over and complete the stitch, and all that does is it makes 2 stitches into 1. Okay, so this time we've got 54 stitches, we need to get it back down to 48, so that's 1 stitch, 1 decrease. We now need to do 7 single crochet. Two, oopsie, pulling too tight. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then I'll show you once more slowly the decrease stitch again. yarn over and pull through all 3. Okay, so it goes decrease 7 single crochet until you have 48 stitches. And so after that round you're back to 48 stitches, and all you're going to do this time is you're going to do a single crochet in every single stitch around. So if you're counting, count to 48 single crochet all the way around. So when you have 48 stitches, this is actually a really good time to do your face on your pear. So I'm going to just pull up the loop there and turn to the front of my work. It doesn't matter too much where you do the face, but for some reason I just feel like this is the front because that's the back, that's where you end. So this is the front. Now if you're using plastic safety eyes, then you definitely need to put them on now. But if you're doing cotton eyes, embroidered eyes like I am, you can do them right at the end. I just prefer to do them now because sometimes when you're sewing it in at the end it can pull out the stuffing at the same time. So anyway, I'm going to cut off a length of black yarn and then I'm going to thread that onto my yarn needle, like so. And then I'm going to find the position where I want to embroider the eyes, and I would find, this is how I do it, I find the first decrease stitch that I did, and I'm just going to do one below. I'm going to put my crochet hook in the stitch below, leave a bit of a tail in there, you can tie that, make sure it's secure at the end as well. And then I'm just going to go, I'll show you nice and close, and put the needle underneath, so I'm covering, like that, one stitch in height for the eyes. And then to make them rounder, you just keep doing that. Like so, just keep going through. Use your thumb to sort of guide where you want it to go. You don't want it to go on top of, you want it to go to the side of, to make a sort of round eye. I'm going to go to this side now. This is kind of something you need to do to get used to yourself, I suppose, but these are my guidelines. And then when you're happy with the eye, just stab myself, you simply, I would leave, how many stitches did I leave before? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would leave about 7 in the middle. So you're pretty much ending up underneath the next decrease stitch, and then just simply come out with your needle, make sure it's in line, and do the same thing again on this side. So once you've done the second eye, you just need to do the mouth, and I just do a little V really, so I'll go find the middle stitch and come out with my needle. Maybe I'll do it one below actually, like that. The face is where you add the personality, so actually if you've got a way that you want to do it, maybe a lopsided smile or something, then it's completely up to you, because it's nice for them to be sort of unique. So that's the way that I do it. You can do it, sometimes I do it as a V, and also if I sell these on my Etsy shop, which is etsy.com/Lana, L-A-N-A, and Libby, L-I-B-B-Y, I do vary the way I do it because I think it's nice to get a product which is completely unique. So that's that. When it comes to the little cheeks, I just do get the pink yarn, whatever shade you want. I've even done little lilac cheeks before, so it's completely up to you. And I just do a magic ring and I single crochet 5 stitches, single crochets into my magic ring, and do 2 of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pull the tail end, so, and then go as if you're about to go into the first stitch, but it's going to be a tricky one now. Actually, this hook is quite good at getting into the first stitch. And then I just would slip stitch into there and do 2 of them, and then I'll show you how I would sew them on and where. So I've sewn on one of the cheeks already, but I'll show you how I did it. So you take the tail from the magic ring and thread that onto your your yarn needle, and then I would just choose a spot. I'm just going to make sure it's in line with this one, just a few stitches away from the eyes, and then I would just use that tail to secure it in, well, not to secure it really, but to see where I want it, and then you can still maneuver it around. So I want it to make sure it's in line with the other cheek. So the first one doesn't matter as much where you position it, as long as it's roughly a few stitches away from the eyes and mouth. But the second one you've really got to make sure you get right, because you don't want it to be wonky. Saying that, you know, personality is also quite cute. So if they are a little bit lopsided, I always think it's quite nice. I don't think people don't buy handmade for it to be completely uniform, or people don't cherish their handmade toys because they look perfect. They cherish them because somebody has put time and effort and love into them, and that's what's so lovely about handmade things. So I'm just sewing it on really. There's not really a skill to it. It's just in through the back and then out through the front. I mean, the benefit of doing it at this stage is that you can go easily. Do you see what I mean? It's not stuffed in here, so you can go in and out easily. If you wait until the toy's stuffed and finished and then you sew on the cheeks, it's harder because you've got to sort of slide through the stitches on the front, which is more like embroidery, I suppose, than just sewing on. Now, what I am doing is going through the single crochet stitches, but honestly, as long as you're securing it, sometimes I'll go around twice as well if you can see the stitches that I've sewn, just to keep it really neat. Not neat, well yes, neat, but main concern is that if there's going to be a little child playing with this, especially if you put a rattle inside it or something, then you want it to be secure. It would be really sad if the cheeks started coming off because it was loved too much. Okay, I think I'm happy with that, and also I'm rambling a bit, so it's probably best if I stop. So there we go, there's the face and the stage that we're up to so far. Today I'm not making this pear into a rattle, but I just wanted to show you that if it was something that you wanted to do, it's actually quite simple. This might be something that you have lying around, a good way of recycling plastic makeup pots, and maybe even have wooden beads lying around. If not, I think I got that pack of 200 or something on eBay for £1 maybe, so nothing expensive. And then I just put them inside the pot, and then when you put your stuffing in your toy, you add that in, and the child can shake it, and you've just made yourself a rattle. So it can be done, but like I said, today I'm not going to be adding this one in. So back to the main structure. We have just done a round of all single crochets, and before that we had done a decrease round to 48. So the next round is going to be decrease again, and this time we need to decrease to 42. So the first stitch is a single crochet decrease. The next is 6 individual single crochet. And you're just going to repeat that all the way around until you have 42 stitches. So decrease followed by 6 single crochet, and I'll meet you back when you've done that. Okay, so you now have decreased down to 42, and the next round you're going to do 42 single crochet all the way around. And the next round is going to be a decrease round, so we need to get to 36 stitches single crochet, so we do a decrease followed by 5 single crochet, and you're going to do that all the way around until you have 36. So decrease 5, 6 times until you have 36. And then once you've decreased down to 36, the next thing to do is to do 36 single crochet in each single crochet all the way around until you come back to the beginning again. Okay, so now you have 36, the next round is a decrease round, and you need to do decrease down to 30. So the first stitch is a single crochet decrease, and then you do 4 single crochet, I never know, in each stitch around until you have 30. So repeat that pattern, 1 decrease and 4 single crochet all the way around until you have 30 stitches. You've probably guessed what's next. After 30 decrease round, we're going to do 30 single crochet in each stitch around until we come back to the beginning again. After that round, we now need to get down to 24 stitches, so we're going to start with a single crochet decrease, and then you're going to do 3 single crochet on their own, okay, so all the way around, decrease 3 single crochet until you have 24 stitches. After that decrease round, you just need to do a normal round of single crochet all the way around, so just count 24 single crochet and then I will meet you back here. And the next round is going to be a decrease round again, of course, so we're going to do down to 18 single crochet, so decrease first and then 2 single crochet until you have 18 stitches. So decrease and then 2, decrease 2, decrease 2, all the way around until you have 18. And you've probably guessed it, the next round we're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around, so that is 18 single crochet. And then once we've done that, we need to stuff before we decrease again because the hole is getting small enough now. So 18 single crochet and then we will begin to stuff. Okay, so I'm going to, just as I'm finishing, I'm going to finish the last single crochet there and pull up a long tail so that I don't lose it. You can see it's really looking like a pear now, which is exciting when that happens. Now, my stuffing is mixed in with lots of yarn scraps because I think it's nice to reuse as much as possible, not waste anything. So with stuffing your toys, it's just about getting it as firm or as soft as you like it. Personally, I think for a more professional look, it's the firmer the better, really. Especially on something like this, maybe on a sort of cute retro vintage looking soft toy, it might be nice to not put too much stuffing in because then it has that floppy look. But something like this pear, I think, because it's quite bright and shiny and modern, it's nice to have it looking, feeling really nicely stuffed. So you can see I've put loads in there, but I'm going to keep going. And even so, once you finish stuffing it, you might actually find you want to stuff it some more before you finish it up. So I'm going to keep going till it's as firm as I want it, and then I'll come back and show you how we finish up from here. So when it's stuffed to your liking, you need to continue with another decrease, and we need to get ourselves down to 12. So that is quite simply going to be a decrease followed by a single crochet all the way around until you have 12 single crochet. And then once you've decreased yourself down to 12 stitches, you need to do 12 single crochet, so 1 in each stitch around. And then at the end of that we're going to change, no, we're not actually, ignore me, we're going to change after the following decrease round. So you can see it's a bit more difficult now it's stuffed and now there are fewer stitches, but any way that you can find to do it is fine. You can see the way that I'm doing it. Okay, nearly there. So you can see where you're going to need to stuff it again a little bit more before you finish. Right, 2 more stitches, and then the next round is fiddly but extremely simple, because all we need to do now is 6 decreases. Actually, I'm going to stuff a little bit more. So I've just topped up my stuffing a bit, and now I'm going to do my 6 decreases all the way around. It's fiddly again, but just get it done any way you can. Okay, so to change colour, I'm on my final decrease. I'm just going to start it off, and I'm going to get to this position here where I have 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to change my working yarn over to my 2 fingers here with my crochet hook, and I'm going to get the brown yarn, which, oh goodness me, which in my case is a bit more beige, but it doesn't matter, whatever you're using. And I'm going to use that in my working hand. I'm going to attach it between these 2 fingers to hold it secure, and then I'm going to use this as my working yarn, and I'm going to finish off that decrease by pulling through with the beige yarn, and I'm going to do continue round. This is where it's ever so fiddly, but don't worry if you're finding it difficult, because you are not the only one. It's worth it in the end. Okay, so then you're just going to do 6 single crochet all the way around for 3 rounds. So you can count to 18 if that's easier for you. So it's so fiddly. I'm not sure if seeing me doing it on the camera, on the screen, is useful, but it's just something you've got to kind of persevere with, I suppose. Before I continue on with the rest of my stitches and leave you to it, I'm just going to cut off the green yarn, get that out of the way, and then what's really good is using scissors to poke these yarn tails through the hole. Actual scissors work better than these snips I'm using, but I don't have any nearby at the moment. It is working. Okay, so just get rid of those tail ends and then you are ready to complete. Okay, so I will meet you back here when you have done 18 stitches in total, so 3 rounds in the brown yarn. And when you've finished that, you are simply going to slip stitch into the next stitch and snip off. You don't need to leave that much, just enough for you to be able to sew in. So take the end of that brown yarn onto a yarn needle and just do a bit of the just close it up really. So just crochet across your stitches to close it up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my yarn needle through the stalk and out this end here, quite near to the stalk where it joins. And then I'm just going to sew that in and pull it right down so that I'm burying or hiding that yarn tail so it won't come out when a child is playing with it. And then just snip that off. And there you have your... So here's the finished product, a gorgeous blushing pear. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial today. If you've enjoyed it, please do the usual, and please do come and find me on my new Instagram page, which is at Lana and Libby. L-A-N-A is Lana and Libby is with a Y, L-I-B-B-Y. I also have my Etsy shop up and running, so if you can't crochet but you'd like to buy one of my pairs, then just go to etsy.com/Lana and Libby. Thank you so much for watching. See you all again soon. Bye.